right, guys. It's the next episode of Revolutionary Talk. And great timing. We're a little bit before Valentine's Day here. It's self-love.
Ooh, such a good topic.
Are you excited for this one?
Oh, dude, I'm so excited.
Kristen, when you hear self-love, what do you think?
Self-love is about taking care of yourself just as much as you take care of others. So you cannot pour from an empty bucket. When you're giving a lot of yourself to others, a lot of your time, a lot of your energy, eventually you're going to get worn down, and then what do you have left? So self-care is about filling your bucket back up, right? So
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like I would say, like for me, like 8 months ago, there was a point where it was just like I wasn't very creative, like in my content. And so there was a time where I kind of just stepped away from, like I was still like, doing photo shoots with you and, other clients and whatnot. But there was a point where I was just like, I don't care about showing people anything. And I don't know if it was really that, but it was just more of like, I don't think I truly appreciated what I was doing and like how I was doing it. So it was just like, I finally got to that point where I'm like, all right, you know what, like I hate tooting my own horn, but I was like, all right, I actually I'm not a bad photographer. Like I'm okay. People like my stuff. So that was where I was like, okay, I just have to accept this. And that's where like the self-love for like me, like I saw that with like my content and like, your content got way better. No, I'm kidding. It was already great. So,
but
yeah.
You've improved, and that that was a result of you putting in the time to take care of yourself in the process. Because I can relate when you're putting like my background in massage therapy, when you're putting so much energy into somebody else, you're eventually getting drained, and then you burn out. And like massage therapy, the industry itself has such a high turnover rate in massage therapy, especially like the franchise businesses, because they're running them ragged. And so
it's just like a factory.
Exactly.
They're just running them in and out. Like, that's what corporations do, right? For the most part.
And a lot of them, so many people are working for the dollar, which takes time if you're on that kind of a career path or have that kind of a job, but they don't teach you how to take care of yourself and replenish the energy that you put out there to earn those dollars.
That's an interesting viewpoint. I've never really actually thought about that. Like, to be completely honest, like people who give you the service, you don't really think about how do they get better because you just assume like a massage. Like, I don't really think most people would think about that.
Probably not.
And thing is, I don't think they're thinking about that for themselves either.
No,
they just want to keep their job,
and
it's like as simple as that, and they're not giving themselves enough attention.
But that's the burnout we've come into, or been programmed, I will say, through as our industry. And just, you're awake from this time to this time, use every moment of it to, go to school, do your job, go back home, do take care of your family, and then turn on the TV and then go to bed.
Yeah. And then you do it again.
And then you do it
it's
again.
Like a hamster wheel.
Yep. Break that. Get off the hamster wheel.
So that brings up an interesting point. Do you ever feel like you're stuck in the wheel, and what do you do to get out of it?
Fortunately, so I would say throughout my life, there's been different hamster wheels that I've been on that I was able to recognize and hop off, and then eventually found myself maybe on another hamster wheel that I didn't realize, at first, like, oh, this is a hamster wheel. Get off that and go. So I've been through it. Do I feel like it's at this point now on a hamster wheel? I don't think so. Hamster wheel in my mind today is the efficiency aspect of it, how everything like the systems, how everything goes and flows together with the systems.
Now that brings up a question for me.
Okay.
Do you think there's healthy hamster wheels? Not like necessarily a hamster wheel, but like in the same concept, like in the same. Like, do you think there's like a healthy way to go about it? Because if you think about it, it'd be like a healthy routine, right?
Yeah, exactly.
At that point. But yet you're just throwing the word hamster wheel on it. Like, what do you think?
Well, the hamster wheel is on the wheel to get exercise.
Bingo.
So there's a purpose there, but maybe it's just about like consciously thinking of the purpose.
Yeah, like if you're imagining fitness as, oh, this is a hamster wheel I have to get on like if you're going into it with that attitude, that mindset, you're automatically going to have this negative undertone to working out,
Yeah.
which will eventually make you not want to go work out.
Yeah, that makes sense because people who typically thrive in it, right? They enjoy going to it. They look forward to it. It's part,
Exactly.
they don't think of it as a task. They just think of it as, oh man, I'm gonna go have fun or something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So.
Which translates perfectly into your career.
Mhm.
If you don't like your job, if you don't like your career, you're going to get burned out, not want to be a part of it. Eventually,
Love it.
That's
So,
awesome.
so thinking on the content side now, like what we're going to do for Kristen's social media pages, how can we visually show that she's giving herself self-love on a day-to-day basis? What are the types of things we can show?
Watching Star Wars. No, I'm totally kidding. Totally kidding. I mean, great.
Really.
She loves Star Wars. But no, I mean, that's an interesting thing. Actually, I had Googled it earlier because I was like, okay, I know what self-love is, but how do you technically show that in a still frame?
Right.
Like it's easy. I feel like it would be easier to show it in a video, but in a still frame, how do you show that? And so kind of like what I found was just more of, personally like hugging yourself or showing very intimate things of like, holding your hands or holding your heart, really, or even like over like the different chakras, like holding different, your hands in those spots, or even like journaling and like in bed and things like that. Because I mean, I feel like journaling, that's a way of showing self-love because you're writing about what's going on, you're recognizing it, you're putting it visually down, and then you can go back and refer to it. So, different things like that, I think is a great way to kind of like show self-love is like kind of like what I found.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I imagine too, there are probably some little parts for your day to day, like maybe in your routine where it might be a little thing, but like a way to treat yourself for like, something you accomplish on a day to day basis.
Yeah.
Like what comes to mind?
Well, I know a routine thing that I have to do for myself is getting a regular massage.
Okay, that's a good one.
I mean, looking outside of just day to day, like I have to schedule that time, make it consistent, or else that and chiropractic adjustments. If I don't do those two things are going to get out of whack.
Yeah, and that's your recharge. That's for you
Yeah,
as a massage therapist
definitely
and just
part
personally,
of it.
right? So,
Yes. Yeah. And then it's helping the immune system and all these other things that we can talk about hours on. So
yeah.
it's so that on the regular routine, but then like day to day, it's definitely taking those few minutes and just reflecting maybe in the morning setting your intention in the morning, I should say, and setting the intention for the day or for the week or, just where are you at? And then later in the day, if you have that time, well, I have to have that time in the evening to wind down just to like, I love being around people, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I've got to take that time for me to decompress, to de-stress from anything that may have come in my mind frame that day.
Yeah.
So
Right.
whatever that takes. Yeah.
So from like a marketing standpoint, how do you see that? Like with her like content?
Yeah, I mean,
as far as, like self-love and
yeah, so a big thing is like creating that relatability. Like, what are you doing that then other people can do? And, creating that positive influence and really, from a community aspect, people are following you to get that advice. You're the expert in the area. So that's a big thing, like through video, photography, really showcase that.
yeah.
And then too, of course, you all watching here, you're watching this video, so I hope you're getting good tips out of it. We can target people on YouTube that might be interested in some of these areas. Yeah. So, there are a lot of good possibilities with this.
Awesome.
Especially with the timing. Valentine's Day. I mean, come on.
I mean, everybody who's in a relationship, they're like, oh yeah. And then everybody who's not, they're like, they typically look at it as a bad day and they're just like, well, it's like, you don't have to, just love yourself. Like if you love yourself, then people will love you.
Yep.
You gotta love yourself.
And you'll find that special someone someday.
That's right. So for everybody listening, how do you recommend somebody who maybe hasn't paid attention to themselves, haven't really given themselves self-love? Where can they start and what would you recommend?
First and foremost, I would definitely address the foundations of wellness. I mean, if there's areas of your wellness that are not strong, that maybe you need some extra attention. Like, for example, if you're not getting enough sleep or not getting a solid night's sleep. Like that would be something that you want to address first, because sleeping is supposed to take up a third of our life.
Yeah.
And
maybe a quarter for me.
That's right.
So all of these different factors that go into helping you to sleep very well, like having a good bed, you know, these are all important things. And those little things that you can switch over for that one topic or one issue that you're working towards, for example, of getting more sleep, you know, might be where you need to get a new bed so that you get that sleep that you need, or trying essential oils like lavender to diffuse and helping you to settle down in your mind if your head is racing before you're going to bed and stuff.
So for everybody watching, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Be sure to follow Revolutionary Wellness on Instagram. Check the description for that link as well as Kristen's. And stay in tune for the next one.
Guys, also just love yourself so others can love you.
Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.